Let's do it. Are you going? Okay. Welcome to the Public Safety Committee meeting of April 22nd, 2024. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance, please stand. Hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. Okay, roll call.
Okay, Chief Rod Malott.
Here.
Chief Shane Mull.
Here.
Captain Jay Christian. Chair Nick Bercuda.
Here.
Vice Chair Michael Greenwald.
Here.
Mark Roden.
Here.
Tom Hazelton. And Seth Neary.
They both, Seth and Tom both got in contact with them, so they would not be able to do it because of circumstances, all right? Thank you. Let's go to minutes of September 24th, if you would.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve.
I wasn't here, so I can't second it.
I can second that.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good. Moving right along. Any oral or written communications to deal with at this point? Seeing none. We'll go for reviews and recommendations. Care ambulance performance measures. Let's go to item in there, the Falk report. Okay, let's see here. During the second quarter 2024, Falk responded to 1,221 calls and transported 755 emergency ambulance patients. It's half the city, I think. Subsequently, 61.8% of the total responses resulted in patient transports. Chief Shane, is that about right? 61%? That sound?
Sorry. Yeah, I would think so. I don't track their stuff very closely. 61% would have been, what, 61%, I'm sorry?
Well, 61% of the responses ended up in transports.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Not everybody goes to the.
not everybody goes, that sounds about right, yeah. Yeah, usually I think it's more, but 61's right about right, yeah.
Okay. And their compliance rate with Code 3 at under 10 minutes is nearly 90%. And the compliance with 15 minutes or less is nearly 98%. So they're still up there. Back to the fire department again. Are you happy with their responses?
Yeah, they've been great. We have good crews here in San Clemente on Falk Ambulance for sure, and they work real hard. And like I mentioned in the past, if one of the two ambulances that are under contract are on a call or calling up the hospital, Falk will bring another ambulance into the city to cover behind them. So, yeah, they've been great.
Yeah.
I don't like the numbers. We don't track their stuff, but these seem right to me, to be honest.
Well, I mean, you would know if there were any complaints.
Exactly, and we're not getting any complaints from the fire crews, which would be the first ones to let me know if they weren't showing up, and then obviously the public. So sounds good.
Yeah, we're very fortunate that they have to come to us instead of, being diverted out in mutual aid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the city has having two of them under contract in the city is very important. So it's a good thing for sure.
Michael?
I just, you kind of already answered the question. If you were contracting these people and you didn't have any feedback from your firehouses or whatever, and you looked at the numbers, would you be happy with what you were contracting?
With the number, yeah, I mean, these are good numbers.
Okay. That gives me a great solace.
Yeah, if I was looking at those are good.
Like the chief says, that if the guy at the bottom, the firefighters have a problem with the captain's response, he would know about it.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, we're in good shape there.
If you care.
Well, they care. They don't want
We've all worked for those bosses. I
don't want to stick around too long with the patient. All right, let's go to the fire department's measures. Take a look at those. Review these performance measures. Any comments on your side?
Yeah, I can just, so they look different obviously. We're looking at the fourth quarter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Existing. So as you'll notice, there's a couple of little changes to our reporting, and actually they'll continue to change a little bit because we're adapting to kind of the change in technology and how we can report better and more accurate numbers that actually means something. So like in the top section, for instance, number of technical on-site inspections completed. We removed that reporting because essentially it was always the same, and for the most part, all of our inspections are considered technical, so that our inspections group just said that it's an unnecessary number to put in there. So we removed that, and that reporting will get rolled into the other inspection mode that we do. But all of our inspections are done quickly. We do the majority of our inspections first half of the year just for awareness with the crews that are out there, and they're all technical. So that was removed just because it didn't actually help us show really any value. We didn't need to continue to report it. So the other piece was efficiency. So it used to be average response time of call. And I think I talked about this in the past, that we are working on a standards of coverage audit for the OCFA, where we're essentially looking at all response times. And our goal is always to be under 8.5 minutes from call coming in, 911 to dispatch, to the fire engine pulling the brakes at the house. So that's the goal we're trying to set. Averages, what they found in the scientific data collection world, averages aren't the greatest read for that kind of things. Especially as you look at some of the area that our fire engines go. For instance, engine 60 runs a lot of their calls within like a half mile of the fire station. So they could run 500 calls that take them 30 seconds to get to, and then a few, maybe 100 calls that are outside of that area, maybe takes them 9 or 10 minutes to get to, but because there's so many that are 30 seconds, their average comes way down. So they changed how we report it, and I'm still trying to fully understand the science, but we're now reporting percentage of calls within 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Our goal, as we're looking at full coverage for the OCFA, is to keep that number as high as possible. So overall, the average amount of calls that arrive within 8 minutes and 30 seconds is 77%. So that actually helps us as we go to try and increase coverage or move fire engines around, those types of things. It gives us a better idea of how much of the time we're actually getting there within that 8.5 minutes. So that's how we report it out now. We still put the average response time in here just to kind of give you a perspective, because that number seems low, 77%. But our average this quarter was 7 minutes and 10 seconds. So we're still like on the average piece hitting the number, but that 77% gives us a better ballpark. So as we start to look at moving resources around and things like that, we can work towards, bringing those numbers up higher. And then the next three little pieces of data that are in there are no longer reported on because we moved to a new system for all of our plan checks and inspections called Orion. And actually, we just don't have any data for any of that quite yet because it's a whole new system that we just launched into. And so we'll do that. Something that my secretary put together just to have some other pieces of information. Our average call processing time, so the time that from when somebody calls 911 to the time that they are physically dispatched in the fire station, that's 57 seconds. This isn't on a report, it's just something else I got for you. 57 seconds, the national average is 1 minute and 4 seconds. So they're very fast, they're beating the averages for that. And that's kind of the information that I have there. So yeah, we'll continue to evaluate ways we can, increase services. 77% of the time we are getting there in 8.5 minutes, which is good overall with how busy the city is. But that's something that we'll always watch and see how we can get better and better going forward.
Is the committee familiar with what that means, the effectiveness for 8.5 minutes versus the average?
Mm-hmm.
Because the range goes from maybe 5 minutes to who knows what,
Right.
And you average it out, it comes out to below what the goal shooting for is.
Yeah, we're trying to get the highest percentage of getting there in 8.5 minutes.
Yeah.
But if we just looked at averages, I'm showing 7 minutes, 7:13 over these first 3 quarters. You look at that and you go, oh, we're doing really good. But then you come down and you go, no, only 77% of the time are we there within 8.5 minutes. Let's look at ways to increase that to get that number up. So that's kind of what they're looking at now.
And
It's good. I don't like it to report out because it's not as pretty of a number as the last one, but it's real statistics as we, look to increase services and stuff like that throughout the county. It's a good thing.
And as a manager, you look at the extended ones and say, there's gotta be a reason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
that's,
some of it's just area within the city, right? There's just certain pockets of the city that are harder to get to, take a lot longer no matter what fire station's going to them,
I mean, does that seem low to you? I mean, that doesn't seem low to me.
As far as like 77 percentile.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I just always, I think our goal is always to have that higher because you think, well, that's 2 out of every 10 calls. That takes a little more than 8.5 minutes to get to. If my family's calling 911, I kind of want that 8.5 minute mark.
True.
But yeah, 77% is actually not terrible at all. It's just I would like to increase it some.
Do we know what the nationwide number is on that?
No, but the 830 is kind of the nationwide standard of what you want to say. There's parts of the country that don't even come close to the 8 minutes and 30
Oh, yeah.
because obviously they're scattered.
Rural.
But most, metropolitan areas, they want to keep it under that 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And I don't actually know what the average is. I know throughout the county, this actually isn't a bad number. Even in the cities like Santa Ana, Garden Grove, those places that are real dense with fire department people, everything's pretty slow to get to there too because traffic and things, and how busy they are. So it's still the same-ish type numbers.
Good.
But it helps us when we're trying to identify where to put fire engines and trucks. When you go, wow, this area is down to like the 60 percentile, that's unacceptable. So then you can have the data to help drive it.
Any feedback regarding e-bikes and bicycle injuries and responses?
Actually, no, I haven't. Personally, I haven't got a call or a update about any major e-bike. I think in all 5 of my cities, which all are very e-bike busy cities, I haven't had a big traumatic one that I can think of over the last little bit, which is good.
Yeah.
I think sheriffs have been doing a lot throughout all the cities to kind of just. I don't see as many like the Serranos and things like that riding around anymore, which is nice.
As Jay smiles.
They're still out there.
They're out there. They're just not.
I think it helps at schools and back in session.
They're out in Jay's lockup somewhere.
Somewhere. Okay, great. Good job. Okay, now let's get into the new business, Public Safety Committee annual work. We sent out a request for how folks, how the committee wants to break up as far as subcommittees. And we got a response back. I hate to keep doing this, putting it off, but without the guys being here, it makes it a little difficult, so.
Well, did we get a response from
We got a
those two?
response from most of them. Tom Hazelton
Yep.
is in today.
Just waiting on Seth.
And Seth, I prompted him today, but he's got an
We'll just give him
emergency,
5. It'll be fine.
just like you did.
I had 4, I think. Or did I have 5?
Yeah, something like that. You
I had two
volunteered
more.
for the world. yeah.
No, I need to give Seth 6 then.
Do you have that printout at all on that? that we can
Of course she does.
pass around.
Well, I just brought mine.
Yeah,
I
this
didn't
is
know you guys
yours.
were gonna make the decision without him today, so I only.
Right. Okay,
Can I see that?
I don't mind. We're going on that, because we've got a lot of business coming up that we need to make sure that we cover. I got one too. I printed it out.
Mike,
Okay.
did you? Oh,
Let me,
there you have it.
let me show you what we got. Okay, let's go with communications disaster preparedness. We're looking at a target of 2 members per each one of these subcommittees, because we can't put 3 in there. That would potentially violate Brown Act stuff, so that's what we're looking at. Looks like,
That's got your name all over it.
yeah.
You know that, okay?
Well, looks
Yeah.
like you and Tom both picked that as your
I think that's.
number one love.
Yeah. I think that's a good one there.
Don't worry, we don't judge you for that bizarre pick. That is-
It's, presentable. So, okay, any problems with that?
No.
Okay, so we got, Tom and me on the, communication disaster preparedness. We go to the homeless and best practices for public safety. Mark, are you,
No,
you're not
I
going?
picked that as number 3, and I'm at the top of the one I picked 1 and 2, so I'm gonna
Okay,
pass on that one.
all right. So, Michael, you
Seth and Mike.
give dashes on all of these.
I have my top 2.
He only chose
okay,
2.
yeah, you put it in there. Let's see. Okay. Let's,
Let's come back to that one.
yeah. E-bike and traffic safety.
What is, Mike's is not on this one that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
It's not on this one either.
Well, he put a
Oh.
dash on there, and then he put in just the ones he wanted,
Oh,
rather
Okay.
than prioritizing.
I couldn't figure that out, I'm sorry. Apparently it didn't download on my computer.
All right, e-bikes and traffic safety.
oh, I'd like to stick with that one.
Okay, let's put you there. Let's come back to the second one, see how this thing shakes out. Even trafficking, Mark, you,
Well, I think you got your 2 guys there, right?
all right,
Me and Mike.
good. You're there. Neighborhood watch.
And Neighborhood Watch, I believe we should rename that to Crime Prevention / Neighborhood Watch. And get more into some of the other stuff Ryan does and some of the things Jay wants to get done.
I know this is a bad time to be bringing it up because we put so much effort into the work plan, but why can't Neighborhood Watch be merged with homeless and best practices for public safety? Right? Because plenty of people sit in their homes and watch homeless people, so Neighborhood Watch, right? I mean, where's our, do you have the thing we had submitted for, or we can't do that at this point, can we?
This was approved by council. but
Yeah, well, I
There's
guess
a,
we dropped the ball on that. It would have made sense.
It's a version
Because
that's
we
We have-
the suggestion for next year.
Because we have 8 items, right? We have 8. We can only
9.
be on 2. We have 9. There's only 8 on this. What's the 9th one?
Park range, you can see there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
it's
7.
attached in the last attachment in your book.
it got cut off, I think.
Which one did?
Which one got?
If
That's
you go on.
review of
page
urgent
4,
matters, and that's not a subcommittee.
Physical, homeless, neighborhood watch, communication, disaster, human trafficking.
Okay, Andrew.
Yeah, human trafficking,
Oh.
e-bike.
Yeah, there's 9 because park rangers on this one.
Urgent technical review.
Review of urgent matters is missing because it doesn't require a subcommittee.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Okay, so we have 8 that we need people for,
correct.
and 2 can be on each, so that means there's 16 spots.
16 slots.
Yeah.
For
There's
5
5 of
people.
us, yeah. So, I guess everybody has to be on 3.
Okay. So, let's go to technology review. I talked to Tom. He's okay with that. You got Seth is involved here. Do you have a feel on how he's gonna
For which one?
bring, yeah, any of them really? What his, hate to speak for him.
Yeah, I hate to speak for, I mean, I don't think,
I don't think he really minds.
Do we have his number?
yeah,
Just text him?
we don't need to do him.
Yeah.
Nah, we don't need to bother him. with this.
Yeah, this is not set in stone anyway, it's an internal thing. And we can, if it doesn't work out, we can move it around a little too. Okay, Neighborhood Watch, you've got, your number 1. Okay, technology review, I'm gonna keep Tom there.
So for communication, disaster preparedness, we have you and Tom,
All
correct?
right, that takes care of that.
All right, and then for e-bike safety and traffic, we have me and you, correct?
Yep.
Or just you and I, however you like
Yeah.
it. And then for human trafficking, it's myself and Mike.
All right,
So,
got that one taken
all right.
care of.
So neighborhood watch, is that something you're interested in? Because if you're not interested, then
I think we need to either put Seth into something.
yeah. No, I'm going down and looking up who the top 2 are on
Okay.
each one,
All
right?
right.
Unfortunately, you're in the top 2, but that's your 5th choice. So
Yeah, I'm not,
we could do Mike and Seth on that one. wait, hold on.
let's try that.
Wait, how many? This will be only the second one for you, right, Mike?
Yeah.
All right. We'll go Seth.
All right. Park Rangers.
You picked that
I'll
as 2.
take that. And how about,
I'll go on park rangers with you.
would you?
Well, I was gonna say let's hold off on that just yet because
Right. Okay.
Because what's your Mike? Your number 2 is human trafficking. Okay, so let's see if we can get everybody their 1s and 2s, right?
Okay.
So
Great.
what were Tom's 1s and 2s? So tech review, Tom's 2, and okay, so we got that. Statistical review, nobody wants that. So that's gonna be a hard one for you to fill.
Well.
So this one's done, this one's done, this one's done. All right, so we need a second person for park rangers and tech review, and then we need people for stats and homeless. I tell you what, I don't want a 3rd one, but I'll take a 3rd one of homeless.
Okay, I'll take the stat review.
Stat review.
Yeah.
Where are we at here?
I'll take park ranger.
Okay, so
Let's do it for number 3.
so you and okay, so that one's done, and then you said stat review. So Nick and okay, so
I can pick up,
why don't we put Seth with me on the homeless one? Does that work?
okay, sure.
And that goes into,
All right.
and then so now we just need a second for stats and a second for technology.
Right. Seth has got 2 already.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mike has 2, right?
3.
You have 3. So Nick, do you have 3?
I have 3.
So what about Tom?
Tom? You can put, I'm gonna put Tom on, well, Tom's on technical review. got him on,
Okay.
that's his second,
No, that's, okay.
his second.
So let's give him a third of stat review.
Yeah, that's right.
And then give Seth a third of tech
Technology.
review, right?
Technology.
So that means, so everybody has,
You got it covered.
it should be one, there should be one short, right? Or does somebody have four? So yeah, I got that. So we got we got Nick,
While we're noodling the numbers here. I'm glad we're working on this because we need to get going on working on these projects.
almost done. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, Adam, can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
Do you know when the council will take up the matter of the additional funding we asked for Neighborhood Watch?
They took that up when they reviewed the work plan, so they approved those funding items as requested.
Great, thank you.
So you're the one that ended up with 4, Nick. And you, mathematically, we had to have somebody that had a 4th one. So it was you, yeah. And then Seth has 1, 2,
Sometimes you
Okay.
take one for the team.
and then human trafficking is 1, 2, 3. Yep. So everybody has 3 except for you, Nick, which is a credit to your leadership, and you're definitely the tip of the spear in this group.
Oh, I feel so good. Thank you so
I can email you a copy of that.
well. That'll teach me for pushing this along a little bit. No, that's
The trick is next year to have a couple less workflow items.
Yeah,
And actually, in all honesty, all joking aside, I do think Neighborhood Watch and homelessness can be merged. And because we do such little technological review, it would make sense to combine that with statistical review, because we don't do a lot of tech review. So that takes it right there. That gets rid of 2 of them. Okay.
all right. Good for there. Which leads us right into reports. We are in new
I think
business.
you missed one, the public safety rebates for alarm systems and so.
We haven't got there yet.
Okay.
We gotta get some reports on the plans.
Okay.
Fortunately, if you go to this last item here, it's
Purple tab.
Purple tab, October 15th, city council meeting. Our plans were approved, including park rangers.
I missed that.
Yeah. So apparently they're okay with moving along. We're good there. So let's see. Okay. Communication and disaster preparedness project update. Just trying to get together a few members of our committee to go on a tour of the real-time operations center the sheriff's department put together. Made contact with the captain out there. Thank you to Jay making that contact for me. There'll be more on that going for there. Let's see, we're still looking at the city, looking at trying to put together a program for a disaster manager. I don't know if Adam has anything to add to that as far as where we stand on acquiring that item or that person.
We're still having internal discussions, but they're weekly at this point, and I think we have a general idea of next steps. But I'm still waiting for the city manager's go ahead on where that stands. So as soon as I have more information, I'll provide an update.
Yeah. Well, if we need to push from this leg, well, we can help.
Yeah, no, at this point, there's good traction on the subject. It's just a matter of kind of putting the pieces in line and operating within the established budget that the council approved for this fiscal year.
Got it.
What's the official title of the position? Because I know it kind of went around and
Yeah, that's still something that's being discussed as far as the specific level of that position will take on.
like in terms of managerial supervisor. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're still kind of in the weeds on it then.
We're a little bit past being just in the weeds, but
Okay.
no final decision has been made
All right.
at this point.
We're under the rough under the apron.
I'm sorry?
Out of the rough under the apron.
There you go. Okay, homeless and best practices. I hope you have anything.
Nothing to report. Seems like I'm brand new on this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Seems like I feel like I'm seeing more. I don't know if that's quantifiable. Have there been more incidents, calls for service regarding homeless, or?
The calls for service have been pretty consistent over the last few years, to be honest with you. It doesn't, I think if you were to ask Carly and Troy, I think they've seen some new faces around town. Whether that's from the train station, being a drop-off point, or they're coming in vehicles. I don't know the exact reason or how they're getting here, but it seems like maybe they're here for a little bit and then they take off. We still have, the consistent ones that have been around for years are still here, and still the update from Carly and Troy and our HLO is they're offering services to them. Have been able to get a few off the streets in the last few months, I know that, but there still is definitely a hurdle as to getting everybody services. But they are offered quite frequently.
And I remember, so not last month, but 2 months ago, you had mentioned that the OC Sheriff's was coming up with your policy with regards to the latest court decisions. Are those policies in effect yet?
No, they're not. There's no update as to a time frame when that's coming out yet.
Okay.
I wish I had more to give you, but
Still, I mean, at this point, you guys will have a policy sooner than we could invent one from thin air. So, it makes sense to go with what you guys are trained to do.
yeah, and that model for us still is outreach first and enforcement second. So
Cool. Thank you.
I've seen one or two new faces in our area, but they may have just migrated from the train station or whatever. But I don't see that many of them around.
Yeah, that's why we call them transient.
Yeah.
Come today, gone tomorrow. Interesting. Okay, David Watch, anything on that one?
I don't. I could bring this up now or when Jay gives his report. I don't know how many of you went to Carnival Colossus. but it was great. I think probably 90% of the kids that were there were wearing little badges. I mean, your folks were badging every kid out there, and the kids were loving it.
You were there on Thursday?
I was there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then Sunday, so I was there like 10, 12 hours a day each day, because it's our foundation puts it on.
Right.
But your deputies were great. We only had, that I know of, we only had one fight, and it was quelled very quickly. So, excellent job. But it was really nice to see how the kids were relating to the deputies, okay, and the parents. So I think that just goes a long way to helping Neighborhood Watch and everything else. So, kudos.
Yeah, just to say, we had our National Night Out event, which I was going to report on, but that was on Thursday night as well. We kind of piggybacked on the carnival being there as a draw for kids and families to show up, and it was really successful. We had a great turnout. A lot of families came by. We had a lot of, different booths, different assets from our department as well as the city. CERT was there. The Marines were there, Border Patrol, the Rangers were obviously in force there. So it was great for everybody to kind of experience what the city has to offer. We passed out a lot of stickers.
Yeah, it was really well done.
I would say, yeah, Duke took the cake.
Yeah.
People love helicopters.
Really?
Well, CFA was there as well. I failed to mention that.
Did they bring their helicopter too?
How come we didn't bring the Firehawk out? Come on.
Can't really fit it up there.
Isn't there two now? You have
Two, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were probably busy fighting fires.
Yeah.
Right.
It's right as they should. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Statistical information review, we did that with the fire department and Val earlier. Human trafficking, anything put on that right now? E-bike traffic safety, yeah, I got a little thing on that. If you put it out, it's this bulletin here. And what happened is I was directed by the CHP officer, Brian Carney, who said that you ought to check with the school district. And I did, and I talked to a Dr. Johnson, and she gave me 411 on a thing that I was not aware of. Our big component on this thing is education, right? And I was looking for what other jurisdictions or agencies were doing with the citation clearance. You have to go to the education part of it and all. And so apparently the CHP local doesn't have anything right now on how they adjudicate those, other than going online and taking a course. They have an online
This
course.
Not this course.
Not this
one,
course.
Yeah.
This is
Because this is the one
state
get your
course.
sticker for your bike.
Yeah. So like I said, I got a hold of Dr. Johnson. She ran through this program, which is just, like soup to nuts. Most of it. It includes the CHP bike safety program. And the draw here is if you have an e-bike or a bicycle and you want to ride that to school, you have to have a sticker on your bike that is individually school related, and it's every year you get a different color sticker, and it's adhered to the bike so that it doesn't get passed on, I assume. But part of the thing is they have to go through these different steps. The CHP safety presentation, which is online. They have to watch a Providence Mission Hospital safety video. They have a form they have to fill out, and the parents have to be involved with the signing of this thing. They submit it all, and on top of that, which makes it even more interesting, is that the hospital, Mission Hospital, if you aren't in a position to acquire a helmet, they have a program that they will have a helmet giveaway program. So there's no excuse not to have a helmet. There is a disciplinary program with this, which is progressive, and it would include, in fact, at some point, if the kid doesn't conform to the requirements over multiple times, they are excluded from riding their bicycle or e-bike to school. Now this, apparently it's very, very successful for the school district, and it's an education for all these kids, because now they're almost forced into getting that certification from CHP. They're learning that and these emergency room doctors are saying, hey, that if you don't wear this helmet, you're really going to have a problem. Apparently it's pretty good. Now, Dr. Johnson was a high school principal in Huntington Beach, and they started the program back a couple of years and found success. She apparently brought this program to the school district, and it's doing pretty well. So I want to give that report to you, and that helps understanding that we will see less of violations, I hope. Kids getting citations and stuff. Now I did not go to the private schools and say, what are you guys doing? So that's still an open book right now. With our new subcommittees, we can pursue that, find out where they are in that. Any questions? No? Technology review, I have nothing on that myself. At this point, Park Rangers program, this is brand new to our thing, to our committee, and it's good that we're taking a positive view on this. Danielle, do you have anything you'd like to bring up on Park Rangers?
We have a lot going on. We're doing a de-escalation training on Wednesday. Trevor's doing it with a bunch of the guys. We're looking into some technology. Trevor had sent me an email wanting to schedule some time to have a demo from a company called Watchtower. I guess they also do like marine safety. I guess their pricing is pretty good. Just because we don't have a simple way to capture data out in the field, and that's one thing we've been really working on, is kind of refining how we're capturing data. It is constantly moving our program. We are growing in leaps and bounds, and just identifying areas where we need more training, need more resources. So it'll be nice to have you guys working with Trevor and myself on, best practices, recommendations, things like that.
Anything we can do to help?
Yeah, come out, spend time with us,
Okay.
see where we're at, and we'll talk. It's better to kind of be out and about, and so you guys can have a visual of what we're talking about.
Good.
There's two other things that have been recent developments. We do have 800 megahertz radios for the Rangers. They have the radios that were assigned to the EOC, but in about a month or so they'll be getting their own set, because the city's actually getting some new radios for a couple groups. And then we are working on getting the Park Rangers reestablished down at the North Beach restroom building. So that will be their base of operations. And we're still working through some of the technological requirements to get that building set up for them.
Is the radios the 800 megahertz radios, are they deployed already to the park rangers?
We have them, but there's a couple things that they need, and Trevor could have already gotten, like the radio clips, and they're just to communicate directly. They aren't able to get up on like the sheriff's dispatch, but they are able, to talk amongst each other. We were also wanting to consider maybe like a dispatch position, because it's difficult to have the radio and they have the park ranger duty phone, which a lot of people are going to call in to report concerns. So to have a more kind of seamless process of information coming in, acknowledging the information, a little more hands-free, officer safety. But those are kind of long range, but we'd like it now. I mean, of course.
Okay, now the operational question is, on those radios, they have an emergency trigger. And what happens if they activate it?
You guys
So-
got EOC and
Yeah,
it triggers
Control one?
their serial number on there, and then just say what they need.
Yeah,
need
they
CSD
should-
or they need fire.
Yeah, they should have access to
Control
CSD
one.
dispatch on those phones
Okay,
through Control One.
yeah, because that's important.
But that's only if they hit the emergency button, right?
But they can't call up and just be like, hey, I have 2 down here in North Beach and need backup.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can. They can.
Yeah.
There's an orange button on the top. They hit that and say what they need.
But that's only for emergencies. They can't just talk to them all.
They can't
No.
talk to the sheriff deputies.
No.
They don't have those channels.
But they can talk to dispatch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, in an emergency, they will have contact with OCSD.
Okay.
And they can talk to OCFA.
Get some interoperability that
Yeah.
way.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was like, then what's the point of
Yeah.
having it? But yeah, so there's no talk round channels, but they can key and talk to the dispatchers.
Yeah, in an emergency, they can contact the sheriff's department and they can talk amongst themselves.
The ones that.
That was a consideration, is how those
Oh, okay.
algorithms were put together.
Yeah. Well, if
A
we're
little orange button on top. Let me see if that since it worked.
Rob, and Danielle.
Danielle, if we're looking long term for stuff like that, then obviously we're too late to try to do anything budget wise this year. But I think it would behoove us to, in the back of our minds, kind of put on there what would it cost us to add? Because I mean, what's the most rangers are on duty at any given time? 2?
Well, there's an overlap, so
Yeah.
there can be 3, but on at the same time, max is 2.
Yeah, I mean, we might want to consider again down the road, budget-wise, finding out from the county, hey, how much extra is it going to be if we can throw these guys on your channel and actually have dispatchers? Because even if you were to hire a dispatcher, they'd be Monday through Friday business hours, and that's
That's not that helpful.
it's good, but it's not great, right? And then, or if you wanted to do that, I know like a lot of small agencies in parts of the state, they have dispatchers Monday through Friday, say 8 to 5, but then literally at 5 they flip a switch and it goes either to the adjacent larger city or a county sheriff's office. So
Well, we were going to kind of model how Rod does with the lifeguards. Is they have a lifeguard in there. I think they call it the watch commander, who dispatches, is watching the videos, all the security cameras, and is sending out the team. But maybe Rod, you can explain that better.
Well, in the summertime, we have a full-time dispatcher. Outside of that, in the off-season, we have a assigned watch commander that oversees, will run dispatch.
and they're at headquarters there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're limited staffing, so like right now we're running 4.5 people a day. So if I had to run out to emergency, then all that would dispatch responsibilities would go to the pier tower.
Yeah, I mean, they're at an advantage with more people. I mean, with a ranger cadre of rangers, I mean, that's a long.
That is a long range, but where I see costs, right? It's gonna be, I don't know how much it would be to, get a contract with the sheriffs, but I could imagine just having worked in other agencies that is pretty expensive. And if it is, because most of these calls are, residents in the North Beach and other areas, complaining about relatively in the whole scope of things, minor type quality of life issues. So, it's something that we should think about and talk about further and kind of weigh out what the long-term goals are.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, Mike.
I have two things. When you say he's doing a de-escalation training on Wednesday, is that tomorrow or?
Tomorrow.
And where is he going to do that?
I believe it's either in the community development. And let me check on my calendar.
And is there a third party coming in to teach that, or is it being taught in-house by someone?
We have gone back and forth on this a couple times. Hold on,
I think he took the training and prepared.
Yeah, I think Trevor's putting it on. He took the training
Train
and
the
is,
trainer.
yeah, train
Okay.
the trainer. Hold on. It is in conference room B at 1:30 to 4:30 tomorrow.
Where is conference room B?
Downstairs, it's the one that's like all glass on the outside.
Oh,
So
where-
you're on the first floor and you're
Okay.
heading towards the code office. It's that conference room on the right.
Oh, okay, near the front door,
Yeah,
not
if
the
you
back
guys
door.
want to swing by and
Yeah,
say
I might swing
hi.
by. What? How many people are going to be in that?
Looks like. Well, a lot of my part-timers, they're not here to hit, respond, but I'm guessing there'll probably be 8 of us, 9 of us.
And my second question, do all the rangers know Carnival Colossal? We were cleaning up at 11 o'clock at night and the lights went out. And we didn't know how to turn them back on. If we would have called the rangers, would they have known where to turn the lights back on for us?
It's not a ranger duty anymore. It's through Musco, but they could assist or, help you guys get the lights back on. It is one of those things that kind of got pulled from our duties.
What is Musco?
It's
It's a computerized lighting system
Oh.
that all of the big field lights are part of, and so it's all automated, and it turns on and off at specific times based on field reservations.
Yeah, sure.
So if there's an issue with it, you have to call into that system to get the lights turned back on. It's not like we can just go and turn on a
All right, that's my question, because we were sitting out there breaking that thing down and we couldn't see 10 feet.
Did you ask the park ranger to help you?
No, we did not.
Oh,
So
well, we would have figured out something, so call the ranger number.
You didn't pull out your streamlight? Come on.
You got your cell phone.
40 years, do you don't have your flashlight with you? So actually, it brings a good question. Since it's usually what, the second weekend of October? I know, because every time they have it, I'm out of town.
Yeah.
Is it something we can preemptively put on the schedule for them to boop, 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 put in there, hey, don't turn off till, I guess it's Sunday night?
I think what they need to do in their planning
Yeah.
is that's a
It's
Yeah,
just,
but
line
that-
that
I
has
don't
to be
know,
in
we
there.
have a whole planning book. And
No, that's my question. Does the
There-
system work like that where you
Yeah, why
can,
don't you guys do
yeah.
booth next year, the public safety committee?
Yeah, so
We don't really have booths out there.
that carnival gets put on through the special event permit process
That's cool.
that's handled by the Beaches Parks and Recreation Department. They're the ones that would establish
Okay.
when the lights go on, when they would go off. Generally, they're tied to the permit. I don't know that they have many events that they allow lights to stay on past a certain time because they can affect nearby residents. So it may just be a matter of things need to get cleaned up by a certain point, not we need the lights to stay on until 1 a.m. So,
What
but
time was it?
through that process tomorrow, or next year, we can work through that.
Well, there was only 3 of us to clean up at the place. So.
No, but what time was the carnival over?
I think it was over at 10.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, and by the way, I don't have a stream light. I have a night sun. Thank you very much.
Well, that'll take care of it, son.
How many D-cell batteries did it take?
A lot. 50 million candle power.
Bring it on then. All right. Any more on the park ranger program?
No, I'm glad the
So-
radio situation is getting where it needs to be. And
Yeah.
I know they look real dapper when I see them out and about. That's good.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Very professional. We saw some of them while we were out at the carnival, coming through, and looked sharp, and they were very aware of what was going on. So
And they're a very professional and nice group of guys. So if you ever get a chance to say hi and to talk to them, I think you'll really like them individually too. I'm quite proud of all of them. They're doing great.
It's good to be that way.
And the vehicles haven't been an issue. They've been staying up running. And
Well, we got that additional vehicle, which is awesome. I mean, it's like
is that
everyone wants to
is
drive
that the
that.
4-wheel drive truck? Or
Uh,
am I imagining
Is
that?
it the it's the 4-wheel drive. It's the brand new one. Like, I don't know if it still smells brand new, but it was nice. I got to go outside. It has all the bells, everything's computerized. So we have 3 currently.
They'll learn sooner or later. You'll learn that you never want to drive the brand new car.
Yeah.
Right, guys?
right. Too much paperwork.
Because everybody notices every scratch on the new car.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you. And is there another? I think there's another. Was there another one in the pipeline that they were going to add
Next year.
Yeah, next year we're supposed to get another one, and then additionally another full-time ranger, park
Okay.
ranger.
And is it going to be the same type of vehicle, like a 4x4
I hope
truck?
so. Yeah, this truck is great. I hope it's the exact same kind.
Okay, let's,
And Natanya did all the work on doing all the specs and the whole layout. She did a great job.
Yeah, that can be tedious. So thank you for that.
You're the best.
all
Well,
right.
she could have created like a new career for herself in that. That's quite. I had no idea how much
Oh,
work it takes.
it's involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to.
Fun to spend someone else's money.
Item B, under new business, I brought this up last time, and I put together a little cheat sheet. It's a one-pager. Lay it on all your guys' desks and stuff. The program I was made aware of is rebates from cities to their citizens, the residents, for security cameras, and security alarms, and here's a number of cities. I included also the city of Chicago, which seems to be the oldest one I could find, started in 2022. They have a huge problem anyway, but anyway, they got a huge multi-million-dollar project that this is part of that $3.5 million home and business protection program that they've got going. Anyway, I only added that in there just as a reference. But the city of Lakewood is one. It started last year. They have a budget of about $10,000, and they have rebates for cameras, camera installation, security alarms, catalytic converter theft prevention, which means the cages over the car's catalytic converters. They'll rebate up to $150 on that. City of Artesia, which is a very small town of 15,000, they started last year also, and they have a homeowner's rebate up to $250 for home security cameras and alarms. And then La Canada started last year, and they have a budget $10,000 for alarms and $15,000 for security camera rebates. So these cities, and when I talk to their staff, there is nothing negative. In fact, the city councils increased their budget this year because it's been successful. Their marketing plan is they don't advertise necessarily in the newspaper, but they have their quarterly mail-outs from the city. They can also, we also talked about stuffers into utility bills. let people know that these are available. I bring this up to see if there is some traction on the committee to go further on this thing. And it would be what we'd be looking for is a recommendation to the city council to adopt a similar program.
No. No, I'm not interested.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
To a degree, I'm interested in it just to further neighborhood watch, to get more people involved in neighborhood watch, because we'd have some more incentive for them to lock down their houses. And I'm sorry, I am a firm believer in doorbell cameras because we had an incident in our complex where a package was stolen off of unit number 2, and the youngster came through past 3 and 4, and I'm in number 4, so I got him head on, and my neighbor got him going up into the complex. So we kind of go like, why is he going up into the complex? So we circulated the video to all the email addresses we had, and one of the ladies from the street above calls it, kid standing down here in the driveway of the unit. So I drove up there, and there was a kid, and he's wearing a different shirt, and he's playing with his little sister. I said, excuse me, do you know who this is? And the kid looked right at it and said, I have no idea.
How old was he?
It's about 12 maybe,
Oh.
maybe 10. And his little sister says, oh, that's you, that's the shirt you were wearing earlier. Okay. So got the grandfather out, and kid went down and pulled it out of a bush because it was some lady's clothes. But, they work.
Oh yeah, I don't mean, I support all this, I just don't support spending taxpayer money.
And who's going to manage the program?
Well, and it's, if you look at it from a political standpoint, I look at this as a nightmare, right? So let's take La Cañada, which I recently learned it's La Cañada, not La Canada. So they have 10 and 15,000, so at a max 100 residents a year are going to get it.
Right.
So that's less than 1%. I mean, so it's like,
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree with as many cameras and sensors and lights as anybody's willing to put on there, but I find a flaw in cities getting in the habit of spending taxpayer money on reimbursing somebody. When somebody buys a safer car, we don't give them something. So I can appreciate the thought behind it, but I just don't think we should be in that business. And well, hold on, would you be interested in doing it retroactively?
No.
Then no, absolutely not. Yeah, so we don't
This is
do
already
this
put
yet.
it in. Yeah, the reason, the other positive thing is it kind of latches on to the old flock program. For the detectives, it's another tool for the detectives when they go canvassing for burglaries, these doorbell cameras and things.
Actually, I would like this, since we're on the subject, hold on, I actually do have something, and I don't know, maybe we already do this, where if you have cameras at your home, is there an entity within the sheriff's office where you can go in and say, I have cameras?
Mm-hmm.
There already
There
is. Okay, well then never mind, it's already being done, yeah, so
There
I just remember when we implemented that in the city that I worked in, people went nuts until they understood what it really was. It's not, they thought everybody was gonna be on camera, it's like, no, hey, if you have something, what do I have in this area, like, if you have a camera holder and I'm knocking on your door, do you have any footage of this, so. Yeah, is it just on the regular website?
It's new, it's to the Fuses that we just integrated into the sheriff's department.
Fuses?
Fuses,
Okay.
yeah. And you guys will get to see that when you do the real-time operations center tour. It's at its infancy stages, really, and it's about pressing the message out to the community to be able to get them to register their cameras, their Ring cameras and whatnot into the system.
Yeah.
And basically what it is not a live feed to the sheriff's department, but if there's an incident and you're made aware of it, actually, the sheriff's department's made aware of it, they can push out to email addresses saying, hey, there's an incident at 123 Main Street, you're in the vicinity, can you please check your cameras for whatever the description may be, and they can go ahead and search it and then upload that directly to uses.
I will say this, it is an absolute phenomenal program. The hardest part is not getting people to sign up, it's getting people to know about it to sign up. And I mean, we solved murders with this, I mean, it's crazy, like, and what's really crazy is how well hidden people have some of it. I mean, mine, you can see mine on my house, but how well hidden some people have them. Like, you go there, and like, well, it says they have cameras, and you don't see them, so you knock on the door, like, oh yeah, I'm right here, oh yeah, I got that on footage. So it's a very good program.
Anyway, what this perception here, what I'm looking at is basically another tool for the sheriff's department and public safety to be involved, because Neighborhood Watch be involved in this stuff, but they get involved after a burglary. You know, they don't do it before proactively necessarily, but I don't know. What do you think there, Jay? This is a program we should pursue.
I think it's worthwhile. Obviously, ultimately it comes down to funding. You know, does the city have the funding to put that out as part of a reimbursement program?
Right.
I think that's the bottom line and the entire operation of it.
And the staff time, it would take somebody to coordinate it, you know, going through the permits, receiving the permits, and, well, actually advertising, and then receiving the permits and going through there and authorizing the rebates and those type of things. So there is a city cost to this program.
Probably more than the rebate.
Yeah. It's just a lot.
Well,
more
then
than
you have
anything.
to get out there, okay, we went through all our money in the first 3 months.
Mhm.
But then you have people still filling it out and turning it in.
Oh,
And then we
God.
have to tell them no. You know, we're spending money on something that is,
It won't be the first time. It won't be the first time that the budget has been exceeded.
now if we can get the 5.3 million that Chicago, you know, because we're similar in size and crime.
No, not
Similar
quite
issues.
necessarily. I'm not looking for that. Okay. So, I'm looking for,
No.
no? Okay. All right, well, I'll table that. And we'll go for some other stuff as it comes along, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
I do
It's
find this
dead.
interesting that
It's-
Chicago will give you $50 for a GPS tracker.
Yeah, free car.
Or no, or even like an AirTag probably.
You know, Chief, would we be able to work with a company that through Neighborhood Watch would give people a discount on Ring doorbells and stuff? I know it's kind of weird because we're pushing a company, but do any of the other cities do that?
Not that I'm aware of when it comes to the cameras. I know the city of Lake Forest does the catalytic converter rebate project. As far as working with a specific vendor of a product, I'm not sure.
I mean, even if, like Ring or I got Oofy, gave, it's the EUFY. It's the only one that I could find that'll store a ton, and you don't pay any monthlies or yearlies, because I'm cheap. So, I'm thrifty, I'm sorry. But
Frugal.
if one of those would just give us like a $50 coupon to hand out at Neighborhood Watch meetings.
Yeah, it's worth exploring, reaching out to a company to find out.
And that would be up to them. It's not like the city's endorsing that.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
but I will say one of the benefits in addition to, protecting yourself is most insurance companies. I happen to know that the discount I get for having my system is greater than what my system costs me a year.
Yeah.
So I'm a net
So is
positive
mine.
on that. Yeah. I'm sure that goes for most people's insurance companies.
All right.
Yeah, well, try to be frugal as we can. Okay, reports from committee members and staff. Let's start with Captain Christian.
Okay, so last month we had about 2,200 calls for service. generated 434 reports, made 87 arrests, issued 283 traffic citations and 413 parking citations. I already mentioned the National Night Out event we had on October 10th. It was very well attended. I failed to mention our response times last month were at 4:47, so below the mark of 5 that we aim for the average. I know Ryan had a neighborhood watch meeting on the 15th of this month over in Sea Point Estates. That was well attended. I think 75 plus people were there, including the register who was there to get some information. I think they're trying to do an article on e-bikes. However, that neighborhood is probably not the best neighborhood to attend since I don't think there's a whole lot of kids out in that neighborhood. Yesterday we had the Red Ribbon Walk from Linda Lane to the pier in conjunction with the city, and that was well attended by the elementary schools. I think that's all I have from my report.
Good. I have to thank the Sheriff's Department. You know, there's so many resources that you guys have available that a lot of people don't know about. I went on vacation, found out about RSVP. While I'm on vacation, I see you guys up shaking the door, and we have great facilities for the people who live here. And I really want to thank you. And your folks did a great job at the carnival, so thanks a lot.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, for those listening that might not know, just as you're saying, that we do provide that service. If you go on vacation, you can call in, and we'll come out and do vacation checks in your home while you're away.
Price is right too, especially when you're frugal.
Not bad. Thrifty.
Thrifty.
Thrifty. Thank you.
Mike, I think you're all the above.
Okay, fire services, Chief Mull. Goofy.
Okay, so it was a busy quarter for us as well. We had a total of 1,569 incidents. 1,107 of those were medical aids. We did have 22 fire calls and 440 miscellaneous. We had some bigger type of incidents over the last few months. Just to hit a couple of them, we did have a car drove into a structure up here in Talega. Actually injured somebody inside that was taken as a trauma, so it drove right into the building. We had a big rig roll off the freeway at the northbound 5 at Vaquero. The driver was trapped upon our unit's arrival, went down about 50 feet actually, so it actually hit him, got him and took him as a trauma. Tiny little brush fire at the end of La Plata, but fortunately our helicopters actually put it out before any of the ground crews could even get out there, so that's good news. Helicopters are good. We had a dump truck and 3 other vehicles that crashed at the 5 freeway in Palizada. Unfortunately, one person was deceased in that one, and 2 other traumas. And we had an e-bike on fire in a garage we go on these quite often, but fortunately it was just confined pretty much to the e-bike and a couple little things in the garage. So just a reminder, when you're charging your e-bike, when it's done charging, unplug it. Don't leave the e-bikes overcharging. Make sure your batteries, if your batteries have any damage or anything like that, don't continue to charge them. That's typically when fires will start, is when the batteries get damaged and things like that. And if you haven't seen what the fires look like on the e-bike batteries, it's very impressive if you look at it on YouTube and stuff. So when you charge it, make sure there's nothing flammable around, nothing that can catch if your battery does catch fire and things like that, because we go on e-bike fires in garages very, very often in South Orange County. So just a little piece of advice for that. And then obviously OCFA was very busy in the month of September along with the Sheriff's Department for the airport fire, which started out in Tribuco Canyon, burned over 23,000 acres. We lost over 100 structures out in the El Carrizo area off Ortega. Unfortunately, when it made the turn down Bell Canyon and started pushing towards that, it was impressive and it was coming quickly, and aircraft couldn't even stop it. So unfortunately, we did lose some structures in there. We had saved some structures in there, which was really good. Worked with the Sheriff's Department. We've been training with the sheriffs a lot on evacuations and big fire scenarios, but I think we've done a scenario like the week before on a fire coming into the area and doing evacuations. So The evacuation piece and working together at the command post was really, really good. So it was good to see all the training pay off on this fire. As we were able to get the residents out, there were 2 civilians that were injured. One being somebody was at the incident, at the beginning of the incident, one of the guys driving the tractor inhaled some smoke, and then another lady on the El Carrizo side, Ortega side, had some more significant injuries, hadn't got out in time, but she's doing okay, I guess. And then, of course, we had 20 firefighter injuries on this. So there's a lot of firefighter injuries on that fire. Most of them were pretty minor, heat-related injuries. A couple big falls, actually, down embankments, but no big injuries. And then, of course, the horrible one was our hand crew buggy that rolled on the 241, which injured the 8 firefighters. So that one was obviously pretty traumatic for everybody. So it was it was a busy couple weeks. Glad it's done. Glad it got done before the winds hit. We're coming into Santa Ana wind season right now. This next 2 weeks is historically kind of our big Santa Ana piece. So we're just trying to prep up for that and be ready for anything that's coming. But with that, end of report.
Yeah, I want to, thank the firefighters out there for, knocking themselves out. You must have had mutual aid from a bunch of different places coming.
Yeah, we have mutual aid throughout the state. People from out of state. There was over 2,000 firefighters there at one point. So it was a big one. There was a lot of work to be done.
It's a lot of sandwiches.
Well,
A lot of
the management team, got in there and.
Yeah, we initially had our Type 3 incident management team, which can handle complex incidents up until a point. But this one was so complex with the way it was burning and burning in multiple counties. And so they called in a Type 1 incident management team. And so we all essentially rolled into that team. And most people were assigned for a couple weeks on that. So it was good. Everybody did a really good job. It was just
Get you tired though.
a couple bummer injuries. Yeah. That's right.
Well, and how are the crew, the rollover crew doing?
Okay. There's still 2 of them in Colorado at a spinal, a specialty center essentially.
Right.
2 of them are there. The rest of them are all at home, which is good. So just recovering different varying levels of injuries. Pretty banged up, most of them for the most part. One of them actually is back to work already on the hand crew, so that's really good. He didn't really sustain any big injuries, which was amazing. But the rest of them have a road of healing ahead of them for sure. So yeah, any thoughts and prayers there would be much appreciated.
Always.
And as far as the evacuation goes, do you guys use? I'm ignorant to how you guys do. Is it like a one-call system? You guys do through utility phone numbers or?
OC Alert. And you can speak to the alert.
Well, that's to go out on Alert OC, and then we have a program that we use. I don't know if they used it in this fire. I heard they had some technical difficulties, but they have a map system, all GIS based, and it's all automated. They go door to door, input the stuff right away, so it feeds it real time down to the command post.
Oh,
so
but
they
it's not
don't.
like one that calls people and says evacuate or anything like that.
I'm not sure if they utilize that at all.
Okay.
Typically, Alert OC is the new method of alerting people. of catastrophe.
Reverse 911, talking about.
Well, it probably worked a lot better when we had landline phones.
Yeah.
Nobody has them anymore. So.
Well, no, I just know there's some places that use, like One Call is a brand, but I'm sure there's other companies that do it that, because everybody has utilities, and you have to give a phone number when you drive up, you sign up for utility, it's on that address, so using those databases, they call, oh, these houses are in this area, and they can zip a recorded message to those numbers.
That's great.
Yeah, the sheriff's department's right on that. They've got pretty good coverage. Marine safety, Captain Chief.
Good afternoon. For Marine Safety, our business hours are still 8 a.m. We're closing at 6:30 on November 3rd. We'll switch. Sunset is at 5, so we'll be closed at 5:30. We had 1,911 incidents since our last meeting. 6 swimmers, distressed swimmers, were rescued. Finally had some surf. Haven't seen that since July 5th and 6th. From October 10th to the 17th, 3 to 5 foot surf. We had 2 OCFA calls for assistants and 2 OCSD. 14 encampments reported, 1 stingray, 1 missing person on the beach, which was reunited. Had a couple of beach cleanup permits since the last meeting. We had a surf contest October 5th at T Street. This Saturday we have one on the north side of the pier. We have open recruitment for seasonal lifeguards for next summer. On demand, they can call our headquarters and schedule a tryout. North Beach, they finished up 2 weeks ago the 37,000 cubic yards of sand up at North Beach. So if you haven't seen that, it's amazing. Hasn't looked so good for many years. So we're starting to get increasing crowds up there. Attended a pre-construction bid meeting for the towers. Looks like that's going to close next week, and then go on to the next council meeting, and there'll be 2 or 3 weeks before they can award that job. So it looks like we'll start those towers, at least 2, depending upon the cost. We may get 3 at the beginning of the year, so they'll be ready for spring break. Lifeguards also attended the National Night Out. That was a great event. And Red Ribbon Walk. Jay was down there with his deputies and lifeguards, and thank Jay and his deputies for, I got a call from a citizen reporting some harassment by a transient with some of the kids from the Red Ribbon event, and they were successful at that. So thanks to Jay and your deputies. And that's it for marine safety.
Do the North Beach restroom concession area, is that
It's lifeguard, park ranger substation.
right?
Yeah.
And when do you think you'll be able to occupy that?
It could be occupied right now.
Get down there, take
Yeah,
a look at that.
what Adam was talking about, IT has to get some hotspot Wi-Fi for them.
Okay.
There's a couple of little things that need to be done, like a security window in the door that's going to happen. Outside of that, there's a cleaning service that's going to be there 3 days a week to start off, and increase it during the summer months.
And you got sand.
I'm going to see it.
Got sand.
You're gonna need that. It's great. Great. Good.
Need more sand.
As far as committee chair, thank you guys for just hanging in there and doing this stuff. I'm glad that we were able to put together our subcommittee designations and assignments. And I appreciate Adam and his staff and Danielle and Tanya for all the work they're doing. So, going to the committee members, so Mark.
I'll defer to Mike.
Okay. Go to Mike.
I just want to thank everybody. And Tanya, thank you. Getting us all together like herding cats. So congratulations to you and all of our partners. Couldn't live in a better city. Don't tell anybody though.
All right, now though, thank you all for all you do. But on a more serious note, in these divisive times, I'm thankful that we have groups like the City of San Clemente Public Safety Committee. We do not care about left, right, or center. We advise and give guidance in a manner that is best for all residents and visitors to our great city by the sea. We are on the precipice of one of the most important days of 2024, 21st century, and likely our lives. It is time for everyone of every walk of life to put aside their personal beliefs and come together and root for the Yankees in the 2024
I knew that was coming.
World Series for their
That was
28th
coming.
ring. Go Yankees.
Check the hat.
I saw
Check the
that
hat.
coming a mile away.
I think you thought it was going a little more serious. I'll be there Friday
You did a
night.
great
I'll
job
be
of
there-
selling it though.
I'll be there Friday night for the first game, so hopefully we can take one here and go back, and they can go back and win one at home.
You spent on a ticket.
What's that?
What you spent on a ticket?
Well, I don't want to say it open, not as much as you'd think.
All right, good for you.
Wasn't very nice of you not to buy solid tickets.
Right.
Yeah.
City staff.
It's all about me with him.
Field trip.
You know?
All right. Well, that's, Danielle, do you have anything?
No, I think I hit all the key things just
Good.
through our discussion.
All right.
Now that you guys are doing the park ranger program, so you probably have a lot more conversations.
Good job. Good job. Natanya? Okay, Adam?
Yeah, this morning we did an EOC activation drill down at the building end of the utility yard. I was joined by the department heads, some other staff that would be part of the command section, and Captain Christian and Chief Mall, and a few of their staff as well. We pulled everything out, we set it all up, we took pictures of what it's supposed to look like in its configured state. Started working through a few of the practicalities of getting things set up, checking phone lines, things like that. And then we got some great presentations from OCSD and OCFA staff on how their coordination works with the OCs and some of the lessons that came out of the airport fire and just their experience being in that environment of an activated EOC. With Rachel Perez's help, we have redone all of the EOC binders and all of the documentation that we need down there. It's still an ongoing process, but we're actively working through the process to get staff trained who would have a part in the EOC. And so that today was kind of that initial EOC kickoff for city staff to get us in the process of working towards getting the training where it needs to be. We've also had some staff that are in specialized positions, like our public information coordinator, Miley Stivers, recently did a 4-day training up at the Loma Ridge Sheriff's EOC up there to do a PIO training. So we're connecting the people in certain positions with the training that they're going to need to start getting acquainted with, and so we're really excited about that.
So ultimately, when this is all done and the yet to be named position, will they oversee that?
Yes. One of the primary duties of that position is going to be the training and exercises for city staff, and so they would oversee all of those activities, as well as just a continual update of our EOC and all of our emergency management plans and documents that we need. And as I mentioned at the last meeting, we're currently working on the update of the local hazard mitigation plan. It's kind of the first major plan that we're updating, but we'll have the emergency operations plan, continuity of government plan, and some other incident action plans that we'll be working on in the hopefully not years to come, but in the years to come. So.
Certainly be involved.
Have you seen it?
Have you seen the EOC thing or their particular?
The new EOC, the new thing he's talking about over in building whichever. You've seen it?
Well, over the years, I've seen the break room, and I haven't seen it actually put together in staff.
Is it set up with permanent computer stations like this? Or?
No, it's not. It's the conference room that's in the utility department building. We are discussing opportunities to set up a permanently set up EOC, but at this point in time, we have all of the materials are stored in a large closet space, and everything needs to get pulled out. And since it had been, I'll say, a few years at least since the last time the city had gone through that drill, it was a good learning experience for many people in terms of just how do we even set up the EOC. So that was the drill today, and I can say that for the staff that was part of it, we've got a very good idea of what that room needs to look like, and we'd be prepared to pull it out and set it up in an emergency.
And that building is located in the
Public Works here.
the couple where
The water treatment facility.
You know, the next time you do that, maybe you could invite the chair to attend.
Yeah, I think that we could do that. One note here is that we are tailoring our trainings to be really like drills where people who have a role in the EOC are involved. We know that there will be a lot of requests for information from the council, from this committee, from the public, and there will be a place and a duty to provide that information. But we want to be very cognizant of the actual positions that are in the EOC and try to keep those drills as accurate as possible in terms of what that what the situation that we're drilling is. But yeah, we can definitely talk more about that.
Got it. Okay. Seeing no other business to take care of to this today, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting till November 26th at 3 p.m. at City Hall Council Chambers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
That's the 2 days before Thanksgiving, right?
2 days from now. On a Tuesday.